So it's festival season for the summer. I have a couple of gigs with The Haunted. I've been using the Quad Cortex and all that for a bunch of years now, and before that I was using Fractal products, and all of those are excellent. All those solutions have been great, and I'm still very happy with the Quad Cortex setup that I have. But I figured maybe it's time to make my rig even simpler now that we're in 2024 and there are more products in the market. For instance, this, the Tonix 1, dude, going from a Quad Cortex and a power amp to this and hooking this up into a power amp at the festival, practically I could probably manage to play a full The Haunted show using only this, switching between a clean channel and a distorted channel. But I'm also using a wah pedal for some of my solos, for instance. So this pedal doesn't have a dedicated pedal input, but this Kemper Profiler Player does. If you haven't seen the video I made for the Kemper Profiler Player, it's out there on the internet. You can check it out. Like I said in the video, it's a long time since I've been impressed by a Kemper product, and this Kemper Profiler Player actually has a pedal input to it. So this video is basically me trying to downsize, and then I'll try and bring this to the festival and see how it fares, basically. Maybe it's a little bit too late to think about this the day before you go for the festival, but you know, I'll manage. So there are two ways of me playing live. Either I would go using the Quad Cortex into a power amplifier, of a real amplifier, a mic'd up cabinet and all that, and also going direct from the Quad Cortex with an impulse response into the mixing console in front of house. The good thing about the Quad Cortex is that both options exist. So depending on the situation, if the amplifier is shit for some reason, you know, you can always go direct. It's very nifty. I think I can do the same with the Kemper Profiler. I'm trying to figure that out right now with the app to see if I can have the cabinet off. It seems that I can turn off the cabinet for monitor out, so I can have an impulse response going out from the XLR output that goes into front of house, because then you want an impulse response going to front of house. But to my amplifier, or the amplifier I'm going to use, I want to have the cabinet disengaged, so you don't get an impulse response into a power amplifier. That's going to sound weird. Okay, so what I need to figure out, and this I haven't tried before, is to connect my volume pedal to this and see if I can engage a wah somehow. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just a very, very good fan of gear, and I'm just such a nerd when it comes to figuring out live situations and rig situations, just shit like that. Function, volume pedal, wah pedal, there we go. Store, I'm gonna store this before I make something stupid. Hell yeah, I think it works. Dude, that was really easy. I don't remember exactly what I did in my demo, but this is the preset I made there. That's fine to me, man. Hell yeah, man. And those are my three sounds right there. We have the rhythm, somewhat clean, and lead. Now I want to try and connect an XLR cable and do that split thing I was talking about, where you know, XLR cable goes into front of house and mixing desk, and then the tele output to an amplifier. Yeah. Okay. With this output going into the effects loop, right now there will be an impulse response going into the effects loop of the amplifier, and that we do not want. And that sounds like one would expect, like ass. All right, so I managed to get the output going into my computer to be with an impulse response. And then the output going into this power amp without a cabinet engaged. I'm not getting the same type of separation that I get on the QC or the Quad Cortex, for instance. But the direct tone going to front of house is good enough. So I wonder, should I just go with that for this gig? And I mean, your options are a little bit limited with the Kemper Profiler compared to bigger units like the Quad Cortex and the FM3, for instance, with how you can tweak the different outputs and whatnot. But it also seems that the Quad Cortex modeling aspect is a little bit more close to the real thing, where you have the preamp section, and if you use that preamp section into a power amp section of a real amplifier, it sounds like a preamp should. But on the Profiler Player, when you turn off the cabinet, you still get a little bit of that cabinet nuance in the output tone in that sense. At this point, it sucks a little bit, but at the same time, I'm probably going to bring this to Hellfest and try it out going direct to front of house. I'm going to use in-ears anyway, so I'll get that sound into my in-ears, and it'll probably sound pretty good. So that's the rig on the floor right there. I mean, pretty simple, right? All right. Wish me luck. I'm bringing this to Hellfest. Let's try it out there. There it is. Let's see if it works. All right, so I have the Kemper Profiler Player set up. It sounds okay in my ears, but then again, the in-ears are really weird in general. It's just so direct in terms of the sound. So we'll see. I'll ask you that later if it sounded good or not. But yeah. Alright, so I'm back from Hellfest. It's the week after. What's the verdict on the Kemper Profiler Player for playing live? Unfortunately, on the live clips that I made, since there isn't any amplifier on stage making any noise, it was only monitor, you couldn't really hear what the sound was about unless I would find some footage from from the audience perspective. But I spoke to Judas, our sound guy, and he said it sounded good. The only thing I need to do was to dial down some high fizz. That's the thing, man. You can stand here in the studio and it sounds all good, but when you come out to a loud PA and all that, that's where you really have to EQ your stuff. But that's easy. I'll just dial down the high fizz of this. Stepping on these to change sounds worked great. There was one time, though, I managed to push with my foot and on one of the bank buttons right here. So I had to go down and push bank 1 again to come back to the first bank in my sound. But other than that, worked just as intended. I can definitely see myself using this live with the Haunted here and there, depending on what type of rig situation the festival or gig have. So there you go. That's the Kemper Profiler Player being played live in front of thousands of people. That's pretty cool, huh? If you want to download this preset, I'll make it available in the description of this video. You have to go to my site, oldenglundshop.com, but you can get it for free, okay? So, see ya.